It's Thursday, November 21st, 2024. This is Rolling Thunder. I'm Ryan. I'm Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
I wanted to throw it to you.
Yeah.
I'm Chris.
I'm Ryan.
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
10 seconds in, and I already fuck it up. That's
And people wonder between the two of us who's the disabled one. I think you're wondering.
Jesus Christ. Wow, you're coming in hot, too.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Glad to have you.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking
I know
to
who
the
you were talking to.
viewers. Oh, okay. All right. We're good to go. We're having fun already.
Yeah.
Ryan, that was an interesting weekend.
Yes, it was.
Did a couple shows at Last Laughs is what they're calling it, which I think is a terrible name, but
Oh, really?
I do. I think it's a terrible name. But hey, man, a lot of comedy clubs have horrendous names.
Like rumors?
Yeah, hecklers.
Yeah.
That's a horrible name for comedy club.
That just invites people to...
Yeah. Oh, I'm allowed to heckle? No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kick you out. Please don't.
I like the comedy mix. That was a good name for a club. Because it was a mix of different senses of humor.
Was it a good name for a club? I don't think it was a good name for a club.
Okay, Chris.
But
let's talk about this right now. If you had enough money to open your own club, what would you call it?
Butt fuckers.
Butt fuckers?
No, I don't. Man, I don't know. I've thought about that.
Yeah?
I've thought, and every thought that I've had is like a horrible name. Like I'm like, maybe the Comedy Connection. Like I feel like it should have comedy in it. But then again, like there are places like I want the branding in a way that people know
They're going to a comedy club?
they're going to a comedy club. Right? So that's what, I mean, the comedy mix. People knew it was a comedy club.
Yeah.
Laugh lines. People knew it was a comedy club. The House of Comedy. People knew it was a comedy club.
Mm-hmm. Yucks.
I mean, I get it.
Yuck. Stupid.
It's not a great name for a comedy club. It's a horrendous name. But because they've been around so long, they do have brand recognition.
Yeah. Since they've been around since the Prohibition era when people used to talk like that. Want to go out for some yucks? Okay, let's get some yucks in there, bud. Yeah, buddy. Woo.
This is going to be the podcast that Mark watches that gets me fired, I think.
Well, I'm not even hired, so...
You know what? I genuinely enjoy working for them.
Oh, I know. I do too.
So,
but it is a dumbass name.
Sorry, it's not Yuck Yucks. It's Mark Breslin's Yuck Yucks. But that Mark Breslin is small, written around it. Which, hey, great branding for yourself. Maybe I just call it Gaskins. Have people, what the fuck is that? Well, it's the large muscle in a horse's thigh. It's
it's what you get if you eat too many beans.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to make a fun
No,
joke.
I got it now. I don't know. Have you thought about if you were to open
a club? What would I call it?
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, everybody thinks of a name now and again. I brand all the shows we do at the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan LaChance presents comedy at the Galaxy, but
Yeah.
that's
But that's a like one-off bar show.
yeah. But if I was doing a club, Chuckle Fuckers would be a good one. But I don't think I'd be able to get
No,
that.
I mean, well, that's why I like jokingly said butt fuckers.
Yeah.
Because it's like, first of all, Chuckle Fuckers wouldn't be is not actually the worst sounding name, but it's
No.
like you can't necessarily market that. You know what I mean?
It's true. What are you doing back there, shithead? Jesus
He's
H. Christ.
jumping up all the way. Well, this is what happens when people give your cats a bunch of catnip.
Yeah.
They just start climbing everywhere. Soka's trying to climb into your pants.
He's high in the giggle juice right now up there.
Yeah. Chewy! Chewy!
Whoa.
All right,
Gee.
hold on.
Awesome. Action-packed podcast today, everybody. Don't worry, no one died. Chewy looks embarrassed. You gonna go hide now, Chewy?
Come here. All right. Get that cat over here. Come on. All the way. You
Getting the
stay here.
shot. You look like a Bond villain right now, man. Are you gonna explain your whole elaborate plan to me and then try and kill me and then I survive and...
No, I do it Watchmen style. I'd explain it 35 seconds after it's already been enacted.
That's a movie I haven't watched in a while.
Watchmen. I haven't seen the HBO series yet. Which
Neither
I've heard
have I.
is pretty good. Now he's chewing the wires. Unbelievable. You fucking cat. Let's hold him like this.
Let's see.
So, yeah, as far as like branding goes, like I said, I wouldn't mind putting my name on it. I think that's a smart move, especially as like I think about other comics who've done that, who are like John Lovitz has done that, Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, Dangerfields was just called Dangerfields,
That's awesome.
right?
Where was his club? I never even heard of it before.
I believe New York or Los Angeles.
Okay. And Lovitz is in Vegas, right?
Lovitz is in Vegas. Yep. Trying to think. I guess all the House of Comedies, are those using
Rick Bronson's House
Rick
of...
Bronson? Yeah.
There. Yeah.
And I think he's almost changed all of them over to House of Comedy because like the first two were both called the comic strip.
Yeah.
Right, the Minneapolis and Edmonton clubs.
I worked in it before he bought it. And it was just the comic strip in West Duval.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in it once. A long, long time ago. And
I've been through there and done sets in that club. It's a great club. That used to be the Yuck Yucks. And then the rent went up a bit in there. And they were like, oh, we'll find somewhere else. And now their club is like in a casino in Edmonton. It's not.
kind of like Cloverdale.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know. I believe that club's in like northern side of Edmonton, and
Okay.
it's not like I feel the Yuck Yuck Surrey, the one in Cloverdale. I feel those crowds like actually come out to play.
They do.
You know, like
It's my favorite club in the Water Mainland to perform at. Just because they're usually up pretty good audiences regardless of the size.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't want to bash the House of Comedy.
Oh, you mean the place where comedy goes to die?
Yeah, that's the one. That's
The
that's the one
the elephant
where
graveyard for Vancouver for comedians
they
to
have
go.
this huge room and then they pull in like these people that no one knows, and it's like they could just give some of the headlining weekends to local comics.
They'll never,
And
they'll never do that, man.
oh, I know they won't.
It's what frustrates me about that place.
Well, because I mean, listen, their business model is very similar to Yuck Yucks in that they'll book someone to run all their clubs, which, I mean, it's not even like their clubs are fairly close together or anything.
Yeah.
Like, all of their clubs are, there's one in Phoenix, one in Minneapolis, one in
Austin.
Edmonton, Austin too now, you think? Okay.
Somewhere in Texas. I think it's Austin.
I feel like they've got 5 or 6 now. Like they keep adding new locations, but it's like
It'd be interesting to go to one of their American clubs.
I've heard the Phoenix one is good.
Yeah.
But I mean I've heard both sides of it. I've heard it's a great club. I've heard it's like the worst club. From what I've heard, their Mall of America one's the best.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that Edmonton one is very good. It's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
And those ones, that one's interesting because you get locals and people kind of from all over who are coming there to come to that huge, ginormous mall.
Yeah, the Mall of America.
No, the West Edmonton Mall.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I imagine that's how the Mall of America one works too. Is you get all of those,
tourists to come through
there too. But it's like it's tourists from like a radius. You know what I mean? Like it's not like someone from New York.
Yeah, it was like I'm gonna go to Minneapolis to go to a mall. Yeah.
Right. So
it's the surrounding states. Hello, you can come through if you want.
We already had Chewy knock over a plant, so, and not just any plant, that plant up there. He's a maniac.
Sure.
So, as far as gaming conventions, like, realistically, most names of businesses suck. Like, let's just be real. I mean, the name of our show sucks. Like, let's...
Yeah, well...
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Speaking of Rolling Thunder, though...
Yeah.
We got a cyclone, what they call it, a cyclone bomb weather system go through yesterday.
Yeah, that's what they called it.
And they hyped it up, and then it was like how they hyped up the Justice League movie, and then it just sucked balls. It was not the same.
I happen to like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, don't get me started.
I happen to like sucking balls.
Oh.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is perfectly okay. Justice League, on the other hand, is a movie that does not have any idea of its identity.
Yeah.
Also, a completely different story between the two.
That's true.
But that said, the storm that came through here, I think also where we live, because it's got that wind has to like come off the ocean, go up a very steep cliff, and then hit us. So you know, it's not going to be as rough here.
No.
As like if you're down by the ocean front is probably
But I like extreme weather, though. Like, if I was able-bodied, I could see myself being like a storm chaser or a tornado chaser.
You'd be one of those people in Twister.
Yeah, I'd be, what's her name?
Helen Hunt.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
I know you. You scare too easy. You'd be the fiance at the start of the movie.
Yeah,
we got cows.
That's true.
I gotta go. We got cows. Is she licking your balls? I don't know, but I gotta go. Got cows. I haven't seen that new one yet. I would like to see that new one.
I tried to watch it twice.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep twice.
Oh, okay.
So.
Thought you were gonna say you got too scared.
No. Actually, I was like, just close your eyes. It's only a movie. Just close your eyes. It's only a movie.
There's some movies that I'm going to introduce you to that are not like jump scare things, but they'll do that to you.
Give you the shiver.
There's a couple that are like very good. I don't like jump scare horror movies.
I don't see the point.
But there are, I guess it's that fucking adrenaline response that people are chasing,
I guess so. It's the same feeling I get when I go to the top of a hill and I count my brakes on my chair and I just see what happens. Good times.
Or when you're driving up a hill and your
chair dies. Yeah, that one's not as fun. Not as fun.
I don't know. It was pretty fun watching that guy try to push you. And
yeah.
Like, yo, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Just direct traffic while Chris tries to figure this out.
Yeah, that was interesting. It's happened to me a lot on that hill, actually. Yeah. You'd think I'd learned my lesson.
Yeah, but the weather was not... I mean, there were a ton of places in, like, here in the Lower Mainland that ended up with their power out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it had to be strong enough.
Yeah. Have you ever been in, like, a major weather situation? Outside of a ton of snow because you're from up north?
I mean, one of the times I've been in a car accident, it was hailing super hard. I'll tell this story here. I have it as part of my act.
Well, don't burn your act.
No, I'm not going to burn my act. But, basically, I was doing a show up in Wells. It was Tom Bassett, myself, and Stan Thompson.
Okay.
And it was, hailing really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom, turned to his son and was like, hey, remember when we almost hydroplaned right here? And then he just turns back to the road and goes, oh, God, boys, hold on.
We're hydroplaning.
And dude, it was... I don't know if it was hydroplaning or, we were just on marbles because it was hailing so hard.
Okay, gotcha.
It was... I jokingly said to Tom's son, hey, roll down your window, stick your head out. Let's see how long it takes you to get concussed. Because it would have been immediately. That's how hard the hail was, slamming down. And, when you just said, hold on, boys, I remember looking up and going, turn. Just turn. And then when I realized what had happened, oh, shit,
It's too late. You're in the thick of it now?
Yeah, we're in the thick of it. We're going to launch off. I was just I hope we survive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not really burning the bit telling this story.
I hope not, because this is terrible right now. God damn it.
So what had happened, though, Tom...
Thank God you're more of a joke writer than this, man, because...
Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
I would just have to switch the show to rolling, and they would be the thunder.
You're both the rolling and the thunder. I'm just there.
Okay.
I'm just there. I remember we land. We didn't like roll or anything.
Okay.
We launched a good 15 feet, 20 feet. It was probably a 4 or 5 foot embankment we went off of.
Okay.
But it was like between where the tires left and where the tires hit. It was like 15 to 20 feet.
So you got some decent air.
Oh, yeah. And Tom, just like the second, he goes, all right, wheels up, let's go. Like,
That's funny.
and then he hits gas, and we aren't going anywhere. And then he gets out of the car. The fucking front axle was broken.
Oh, shit.
So he just steps out. He's like in the hail, and he's like, cock sucking, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to walk the rest of the way into town. Luckily, we were only like a mile out.
Okay.
So I just sat there with Stan Thompson in the car waiting for Tom and his son to like come back.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
And then the place that we played in Wells was really cool. I guess it used to be a casino, and this company built it just to get their gaming license.
Okay.
Just so they can transfer the gaming license to a place that would be more profitable.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's basically Wells is, I guess it would be like a mining town because people come through there and stay at this place. So this used to be a casino. It's now like the big casino room, and it's not big because Wells is a town of like 300-400 people tops.
Okay.
Right? So the casino room is like, it's now like a 7-Eleven type convenience store.
Okay.
So it's like an extra large convenience store, right? And then they have like this nice little showroom in the back that seats like 80 people.
Nice.
And it's fucking awesome.
Cool.
I don't know if it's wheelchair accessible, or else I would totally be reaching out to them. But they stopped doing comedy. I guess a couple Vancouver comics who worked with Tom decided they were going to go play that room, and then it fucking burned the room.
Oh, shit.
Like, neither of them were headliners or anything.
Okay.
And then that was it. The guys just stopped doing comedy for the time being. I don't know what they're doing now, But the room itself was
cool.
an awesome fucking showroom.
Yeah.
And then we were staying like in the basement. So it's kind of like a hostel in the basement of this building. So like they had rooms, and my room was literally something like it said storage and then like 2B on it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or storage room 6, I think it might have been. So like on stage, I jokingly was like, I'm in storage room 6, And then I was telling my girl about it.
Yeah.
And I led like, hey, listen, we got in a car accident. We're fine. Like, and then she started like, oh my God. And I was like, we're fine. Ease it up. Ease it up. We're fine. And then I was like, yeah, and we're staying at like in the basement of this place. And it's like, there's a bunch of people staying. And I go, on stage, I was joking about it. And I go, I'm staying in storage room 6. And she goes, was that your actual room? And I go, yeah. And she goes, well, what if someone comes to your room? I go, who the fuck's going to come to my room? Like, what do you...
What do you mean, all those chuckle fuckers that chase you after shows, man?
This is not the industry. We don't have mystique like a fucking bass player.
Well, speak for yourself, buddy. I got lots of machismo when it comes to that. I'm Mr. Mysterious.
Well, you do, because you don't even talk about yourself. You just talk about your wheelchair. So, fucking...
Yeah. For all they know, I'm not even in a wheelchair.
Oh, they'll find out during the deed. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's like, what if some woman comes to your room? I would go, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, what are you talking about?
That's funny.
I don't have that type of interest, you know? But it was, yeah, it was wild. So that, and I mean, in Prince George, aside from the snow, like a lot of time during the summer, they get big thunderstorms
Okay.
there. So like,
Yeah, we used to get them in Alberta all the time too.
yeah, I remember
I like a good thunderstorm though.
same. I think one year when I was doing Funny Fest,
Yep.
my hotel,
That's
I was facing. I was probably facing like south over the city,
Mm-hmm.
and in an area where like there was nothing, so you just see for miles and miles, and probably like 10, 20 miles away, I watched a whole storm just fucking
Roll in.
rolling and roll out.
That's cool.
Fucking watching lightning come down 20 miles away. Didn't even, no rain hit where I was sitting. So I just sat on the balcony and fucking watched it and was like, this is one of the coolest things ever.
I think one of the most extreme weather conditions I've been in is my, unbeknownst to my parents, they booked a trip to Disney World,
Okay.
but it was during like hurricane season.
Yeah.
For Florida, and we got hit with a massive hurricane. And my dad's like, "Fuck this! We paid good money for this."
By the way,
we're
that's the best way, because I know people who've done that, and then there's like no lines and
Yeah.
shit.
Well, honestly, when you're in a chair, you don't have to wait in line. Like I get to go through the exit, which is kind of sweet.
Oh, fucking look at you.
Yeah, no, that's why you gotta travel with me, dude. We can get shit like that done all the time. Between your dwarfism and my wheelchairness.
Ryan's wheelchairs, as he calls it in Disneyland, calls it the fast pass.
Yeah. And I didn't pay an extra $1,000 for it either.
Yeah.
Just the rest of my life. No big deal. No big deal. But yeah, no, we went during a hurricane and
Yeah.
they kept the park open, obviously, and people kept saying, "Are you sure you want to ride?" And my dad's like, "Yes, we do," and we did.
Yeah.
We didn't need to go to Splash Mountain to get wet either, no.
Yeah.
It was good times.
I did Disneyland once before I was even old enough to remember it.
Okay.
And then my mom, so my mom has friends who live down in California, and at the
Okay.
time I had family members from the other side, from like my dad's side, that live
Yeah.
in the States. So when I was like 16, we did a whole road trip down to like California
Okay.
through Idaho, because that's where my aunt was living.
Of
at
course
the time.
they are. You come from some inbred rednecks, don't you there, bud?
They're not.
I know, I'm just kidding.
They're so.
I'm sure they're wonderful people that like to fuck their cousins. Good times.
I believe those are called inbred rednecks. So
I have a few of them in my family, so I should not judge you whatsoever. Anyway.
there's one of us that looks like the product of inbreeding on this podcast, and let me tell you something: it's not you.
Yeah, well, everybody knows that, Chris. Come on now.
So, anyways, yeah, we did both like Universal Studios and Disneyland.
Okay.
I tried talking my mom into doing the Terminator stage show.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, like as the very last ride that we were doing at Universal.
Mm-hmm.
And instead she was like, no, let's do Jurassic Park. And then we were thoroughly let down by Jurassic Park.
Oh, really? That's disappointing.
And I was like, this is just a shitty, like, it's a log ride. type ride.
Yeah, where you go through different.
And I was like, if I get soaked, I'm going to be extra upset. I didn't. Like,
Well, because you shrink in the rain, you can't afford to do that, dude.
I'm not a piece of wool, okay?
No, but I'm pretty sure your parents raised you like one of those sponges that you used to put in water and then they expand, you know? What were they called
Those
again?
little dinosaur toys. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember those things.
That's how you were born. So you were put in one of those like an incubator and you just popped out.
Yeah. So when we did Disneyland, we did Splash Mountain and the Haunted Mansion twice.
Okay.
Like it was fairly busy because we went down during like spring break.
Mm.
We didn't do Splash Mountain because like I looked at that, I was like, nah, the hell with that one. Like, but we did like the Matterhorn was pretty good,
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
and Space Mountain was my favorite. Where I was like, this is cool. Like,
Yeah. The reason I like Space Mountain is because there's parts of it where you think you're turning left and
Yep.
all of a sudden you go right and
Yep.
vice versa. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, realistically, the rest of the experience, I didn't care for.
No.
I was like, this is just a theme park.
Well, I do want to get back there. Maybe we can go, like, once you renew your passport and once mine comes, we can go down because I really want to check out, like, Star Wars and the Star Wars exhibit.
Yeah, I
and,
guess there's like that.
and Harry Potter and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I'd like
Yeah.
to check all that out.
I think at the point that I went, so that would have been fucking 20 years ago at least. Probably 22 years ago at this point. Like they had just
Yeah.
opened the California Adventure or whatever it was called on the other side.
Okay.
Like we just did the main Disneyland.
Yeah.
And then like there was like one part where it was like entering Toontown thing, and like 3 minutes after entering that, I'm like, there's no rides here. Why the fuck we come over this way? Like,
Yeah.
this is stupid. This sucks. It's not that I don't like amusement parks.
Well,
I don't like overly priced.
Well, that's why we need to go to Sophie's Land or whatever it's called again.
Yeah.
Or Morgan's Wonderland, that's what it is.
About Knott's Landing, I heard is pretty good too.
Morgan's Wonderland's a completely accessible
Okay.
theme park with the water park that a Texas billionaire tycoon built for his daughter because they all went on a trip to Disney World and she couldn't go on most of the rides and he got pissed off, so he built a park where if you're disabled you get in free and then everybody else is only $35.
Shit, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, so that's the first trip I want to make when my passport kicks in, because if we go down to San Antonio, we can even go, we can rent the wheelchair van and drive to Austin and to Dallas. And, like, I want to check out the mothership. Shit, I want to try and get on Kill Tony. You know?
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. Although I don't know how to get on that show. But
I don't know. They did it a couple times here in Vancouver.
yeah?
Yeah. I think it's weird because, like, I remember I listened to them and there was only one comic that I knew that got on. And it's
Really?
like everyone else was just, I just signed up for Kill Tony. And it's like, you're not even a comic. Like,
I think I would do really well. That's why I want to give it a try.
yes. Yeah.
Plus, when Tony starts chirping at me, I'd be able to retort because I have lots of practice with you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Him and I, very similar. Very.
yeah, you're both gay men. Just kidding.
That's the exact joke I would have made too. Yeah, I don't know how we got so far off.
I don't know either, but it's been fun.
Yeah. But Last Laughs was good. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's get back to that.
that was, you
Yeah.
know, kind of the lack of an audience was disappointing, but given
what we were up against.
What we were up against was fully kind of understandable.
Yeah.
I heard there was a show up in my hometown where like half the people were on their phones watching the fight during the show.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that was Sterling Scott was playing up in Prince George that night. And I think it's one of those things where like it was at least the crowds that we got out were fun.
They were.
It was also not the type of show that I thought it was going to be, which at the end of the day I was okay with.
What did you think it was going to be?
Well, I thought it was more going to be like an actual comedy club weekend, like host, feature, headliner, where it was more structured like the typical weekly bar shows, you know, where like 3 or 4 acts are doing 7 to 10 minutes, and then the headliner's doing like 20 to 25.
Yeah.
So,
but it worked out really well. Everybody did a good job.
Yeah.
Show was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the late show was, less people, but it had like that intimate feeling, and I know you just fucking crushed, and I was, it was funny because I got on stage and I was immediately like mention you burying me.
Yeah.
But I knew, because I was expecting Alex to like do some time in between us.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. Like he just got up because whoever was hosting had to leave for whatever reason.
Oh, I was wondering why he brought you up.
Yeah. So he was like, I got to bring you up and then just hit your music. And I was like, I'm not even going to hit music. I'll just be right by the fucking stage. Like, I always find that music makes sense for you because sometimes you have a challenge getting onto the stage.
You mean I can't drive my wheelchair up a ramp? Let's just be honest.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
I was trying to say it politely, all right?
I know, but I've been calling you short for every podcast and making fun. You can't be the polite one. Well, you can.
I can, and I will. And
Does
sometimes you have challenges getting on stage.
Yes, I do.
So playing some music
makes sense
because it, you know.
Yeah.
But like, it's when it's, oh, here's Chris Gaskin, I'm right there. Like, anytime, I know when you go play Underground, they have to move the show up to you.
Yeah.
Which that's got to be awkward in its own.
It is, because it's like the show that I did, I could tell downstairs the momentum was built.
Yeah.
And they were in a good spirits and everybody was having a good time. And then they come up stairs and it's like a hard reset, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, because of the type of person I am when I'm on stage, like I can handle that situation.
Of course.
Because I'm like raring to go all the time, every time, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I wish, I like watching the show and I like being a audience member and participating in the laughs until it's my turn to go.
Yeah.
Because it also gives me a chance to gauge what type of crowd they are. Whereas when they're coming in cold, I don't know. You know, I could hear laughter, but I couldn't really hear the show.
I mean, it's also like the beauty of Rolling Thunder is we can play it both ways, where you're the one who is up first,
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I mean, I'm okay with going up first and then coming up. Just the logistics of you, going on stage twice doesn't make as much sense. But
that would be half the show with me just driving back and forth.
That's not true at all.
I know.
But it's like, so them playing that night at Last Laughs, like that's at Underground. Like it's such a small room downstairs.
Yeah.
If they play music, half the time I get on and I grab the mic and I'm like, all right, fade out the fucking mute. Like they just keep playing it and playing it. And like they do that at Comedy After Dark as well, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
like what happened to comics being close to the stage when their name is called? Like, it's now
Yeah.
half these shows. All right, your next act, and they're fucking way up. Like it's The Price is Right. Oh, my name's called. You should know your name's called. It's a fucking.
Well, let's be honest, Chris. We're both wrestling fans. We all want that dramatic wrestling entrance with the crowd singing along to our entrance music.
I mean, kind of, but it's like, as comics, how do we follow that? You know what I mean? Like,
With professionalism and laughter, my friend.
yeah, but that it's not like when wrestlers come out, eventually someone goes through like a flaming table and like
If that's what our show needs,
if
that's what we will do. I'll put you through a flaming table. If it means we get financial security, fam.
all right. No, I'm in. I'm in. That sounds like
Oh, I
fun.
know you're in because
I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and you know how to fall properly and not hurt
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, it's funny is like that bit that I used to do. I still do every once in a while for fun, but the playground bit,
Yeah,
it's like 50-50 chance that I actually like bust an elbow open doing it.
yeah,
But that's or jam my thumb because I'm holding the microphone as I'm going down. Sometimes that happens, but I've never seriously hurt myself doing that. I don't think I would seriously hurt myself doing that. Just because of the way that I'm going down and because of my training through wrestling.
yeah.
So, yeah, I know how to fall
That's good.
in a way that's going to create the least amount of damage.
Because that's going to be our new start to the show.
Start to the show.
Either that or you juggle chainsaws or something like that,
That I'm definitely not doing. That when I see guys who like do that, I'm going to juggle 3 chainsaws. I'm like, one of these days,
yeah.
this is ending in a horrific way.
Yes.
Yeah. But those shows were good, all things considered.
Yeah, they got a good thing going there, man.
Yeah.
So
It's a cool little room, and
for sure.
people who are out in like the Fraser Valley area, like it's also not the worst part of Abbotsford
No.
either. Like the worst part's like a few blocks away, and also, I mean, describing it as the worst part is borderline stigmatizing, but you know what I mean.
You're trying to be nice again.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. But it's like they've got a really cool thing there.
Yep.
The setup's great. Like it's a nice small room. They can definitely fit in way more seats than we had there. And I imagine when that place is packed, it's just a fucking kill box.
Yeah.
So, which I love rooms like that.
Me too. Me too.
And it's about as deep as the underground as what, like, as far as like you're playing wide, which I've always said like playing wide is better than playing long.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
The type of venues that always frustrate me is like the table venues where they're long tables and people got to turn.
Oh.
See the show.
Yeah. Well, they do that at like House of Comedy, and even when it was laugh lines, they would always have the tables sideways, and I go, why do you have the table sideways?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can fit more people in. I go, yeah, but would you not rather have people have a better time so they come back? Like,
Quality
you
over
aren't getting
quantity.
more people because people are going to always have to sit fucking sideways. I would like...
Yeah. Quality over quantity, man.
Yeah, dude, that's what made the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And back when it was Yuck Yuck so great was like people were sitting facing the stage. It's like the only people that weren't were the booths, but the booths were way off at the sides of the room. So would fill those last, right? They'd fill all the tables. It was very rare that you had a seat that you weren't comfortable in.
Yeah.
Like it was, that club was one of the best clubs I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
I agree.
And even just hanging out and watching a show, it was one of the better experiences.
I always had fun in the green room too because it was right behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun because sometimes crazy shit behind the curtain would happen while I'm on stage. And one time I forgot my mic stand.
Yeah.
And Simon King was holding my mic because he was hosting. And I burnt him so bad that he took the mic, put it back in the mic stand, and walked off stage. and then he reached out, and you just saw his arm, and he flipped me the bird.
Yeah.
And the crowd fucking lost it. It was so funny.
Oh, I've reached out and flipped guys the bird at that place.
Yeah.
Where they take a shot at me, and then you just see, or I've stuck my head out, like.
Yeah.
And like you hear the laugh get bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm like, that's what you get for like mentioning me or fucking trying to. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't just do that during someone's set.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
because you're a professional.
Yeah. God, I can't remember years ago. I had like someone heckle me, and then it was like after the fact. They went on stage just like at some open mic.
Okay.
And I like a bunch of people like heckle them back, and I was like, no, like no.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're already eating it, so fuck them. Like,
yeah,
they can bomb. I don't need to add to this. And then, like a few weeks later, they apologized to me, and they were like, I didn't know who you were, and it was like, the fuck's that got to do with it? Don't be heckling other comics. You're a comic, like, show some fucking decorum.
You tell them, Chris.
Yeah. All right. Tonight, Galaxy.
Yes. It's going to have you and me.
Yep.
And Randy Andy and Ray Morrison, Shane Clark, and some dude that no one knows.
Okay.
Because he does that much comedy.
So is this like a...
Will Fitzpatrick.
Oh, what? I thought you were just keeping it a secret because
no.
someone... Okay.
I just wanted to say no one knows who he is on the podcast, so when he watches it, he can feel the burn. Feel the burn.
Listen, no one knows us either, so, you know.
Speak for yourself, dude.
Oh, okay, sorry. Air Canada knows you. So...
Yeah, they do, buddy. I'm one of their top customers.
Yeah. Sorry, here's $500 for another time that we'll drop.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
So,
if I collect enough of them, I should be able to afford a plane ticket to Hawaii.
That's right. Yeah, and then this Friday, I'm doing the Comedy Cellar for...
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to remember the name of their show. You've got like a corporate coming up that you're doing. I mean, we shouldn't be plugging that, but you know, you're busy too.
I got a bunch of corporates in early December. Should be good.
Yeah, and then you've got the roast of Peter Hudson and Nanaimo.
Yeah, at the Globe in Nanaimo.
November 30th.
November 30th.
And the very next weekend, you're back in Nanaimo. I'm in Nanaimo.
We're doing Rolling Thunder, baby.
Rolling Thunder, December 6th.
At the Nanaimo Bar.
At the Nanaimo Bar, so that'll be fun.
Yes, it will.
All right. I think that's it for this week. There was stuff that I wanted to talk about that we didn't even get to.
Okay, well, it's not always about you, Chris. But anyway.
I'm sure there was something, you mentioned something you wanted to talk about.
I did.
Hey, we hopefully get to it next week.
Maybe.
All right. That's it.
Okay.
Guys,
bye, everybody.